Hi, I'm Susie DeGrasse of Primarily Possums, and I'm going to show you what I do when I first get a baby in. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check for injuries. And he looks like he's okay. Then I'm going to make sure that he's clean and that he's warm. So I'm going to put him, I'm using a basket here. So he's in a secure container, half on and half off a heating pad. We don't want to set it right on the heating pad because the baby can get too warm. This way he can move from cool to warm. The heating pad that I use is the kind that does not have auto shut off. The auto shut off heating pads shut off after 2 hours, and then I have to turn it back on again, and that doesn't work at night. So this one is from Walgreens, and it has the option to stay on. Once the baby is nice and warm, and I can tell if he's warm if he feels warm, not just the amount of time that he's in there. If he was outside for a long time, he might be really cold. If I fed him either cold liquids or fed him when he was cold, it's very dangerous for his intestinal system. And a cold baby or cold liquid can lead to death. So I always make sure he's warm. As for what I give them for hydration, I use Pedialyte. I use the fruit flavored, which this is not. And I dilute it by 50% with water. I do that because Pedialyte is made for human babies who are much, much larger than opossum babies. The best way to warm the Pedialyte is in a glass or something similarly shaped in a dish of hot water. If I heated it in the microwave, it would have hot spots and I could accidentally burn the baby. So I warm it in a hot water bath. I'm going to want to stimulate the baby to go potty because it may have been a long time since he was with mom and he probably has to pee. If he's really young, he's not really going to understand how to go on his own. So I hold the baby really securely. I use a warm, wet cotton ball and I gently rub his parts until he pees. The color of his pee will also tell me if he's very dehydrated or not. The darker the pee, the more dehydrated he is. Once he's a little bit more comfortable, I get a 1 cc syringe or an eyedropper if I don't have one, and I feed him just drop by drop. I don't shove it in his mouth. I don't force him. I just want him to take a drop at a time so he doesn't aspirate and get it into his lungs. I weighed him so I know what 5% of his body weight is. So let's pretend this guy is 100 grams. So he needs 5 cc's or 5 one of these or 5 one of these every time I feed him or hydrate him. And when I do the initial hydration protocol, I will offer it to him every 2 to 4 hours, depending on how much he's taking in at a time. I don't feed the baby for the first 12 to 24 hours, and that means no milk, no formula, no baby food. There's enough calories and sugar in the fruit-flavored Pedialyte that it will keep him going. But if you feed a dehydrated animal, it's going to stop up their stomach and gastrointestinal system. Once the baby is hydrated, I might try and see if he has to pee again, and then I will put him back in his little bed in a warm and secure container. I am lucky that I have incubators, which I got through Baby Worm. These are, you're able to control the temperature and the humidity level, which is really important when you have what we call pouch young, or babies that would be in the pouch still. It's very warm, it's humid, and they're very squished together. So I will do the same sort of setup in the incubator. I'll have the babies in their house, and I will set them in there. The most important thing about what you house them in is that it is secure, it is quiet, it is away from dogs and children. So since this is open, I would cover it up with a cloth so that they feel secure and so that other people and animals are not looking at it. Okay?